Noita is a game that refuses to explain itself and punishes you for assuming it will. If you're trying to be on some wizard type timing, then it doesn't get much better than this. It will hurt you over and over and over again, but your dedication is rewarded in time. It might not look like much, but Noita will show you the true meaning of loss, the limits of your curiosity, and what it's like being a sick-ass wizard. But what is Noita about? What is going on in this wizard game? This question really haunts me and keeps me up at night. I thought maybe making this video would make it easier to explain, but let me tell you right now, that's not the case. Is it a wizard game? Is it a roguelike? Is it a sandbox physics simulation game? Is it an RPG? Is it RNG-Slop? Do words mean anything anymore? Noita is interesting to talk about because there's just so much going on. I'm not exaggerating when I say that playing the intended way is only a small slice of all the content in the game, and that 90% of the world is hidden away from sight. Most players won't ever find most of the secrets hidden in Noita, or even realize how large it really is. I have over 80 hours of playtime and I still feel like an amateur, wandering aimlessly in a dark cave of ignorance. It's hard enough to rationalize the complexity of our real world, let alone this crazy-ass wizard game. This is to say, you won't really get it until you experience it firsthand. Or more accurately, you watch a bunch of YouTube videos and read the wiki for at least 10,000 hours. The game is also hard as hell, I'll be so for real with you. Your first impression will likely not be positive with Noita because there's just a huge lack of direction or even an explanation for like the basic mechanics of the game. My first few runs, I didn't even know that you could edit wands and create your own spells, something you basically need to do to succeed. The enemies all hit you for way more damage than you would think, and you're going to be constantly set on fire. There is a huge learning curve to Noita, but once it all starts to click, you'll understand why it has the cult following that it does. Like other roguelike games, each restart brings new world generation. It brings new wands and items that will be available for you. You die, you roll the dice, you die again. Maybe this time you'll make it a little further. Okay, before we go on, I'm gonna have to get a little off topic. I cannot stand the name roguelike. What a goofy ass genre name. Imagine trying to describe one of these games to someone who doesn't play them and you use the word roguelike. They're gonna look at you like you're off your gourd, bro. It's ridiculous. Hand to God right now, without Googling it, do you know what Rogue is? Do you know what that game looks like? This is Rogue. Nobody in 40,000 years has ever played this game. This is not a game, I think this is just an Excel spreadsheet someone left on their computer. When someone says roguelike, they're actually just asking for the Q1 sales report that your job asked for last week. I've took it upon myself to give this genre a new name, and that new title is RNG-Slop. Maybe that has some negative connotations to it, but anything is better than roguelike. Oh my god, it sounds so ridiculous.
Hey man, wanna come over later and play some roguelikes? I love roguelikes. Did you try Noita? That's my favorite roguelike. Hey man, let's play some roguelike.
Okay, my bad, I got a little carried away. Real mastery in Noita doesn't come from understanding the enemy attacks or the intricate spell building or even what perks to go for depending on the run. It comes from the moment where you've decided you've had enough and you download the mod that makes it so you start every run with a full glass of water. I'm not kidding, it's actually unbearable without this mod. You start every run with the same 2 wands and a random potion. If you start with anything but a water potion, you have a severe disadvantage. You think you can achieve your dreams, practice magic, release your inhibitions, and feel the rain on your skin with a polymorphine potion? A potion of blood? Who do you think you are? One thing you have to internalize to succeed in this game is that your character loves being set on fire. They're so good at being completely engulfed by flames at any moment, it's ridiculous. Lanterns, explosives, stray oil, it doesn't matter. As sure as the sun will rise, your character will be set on fire at some point, and water is the best way to counteract this. You would think your guy would change out of these dusty ass dry robes after like the second time this happens, but I guess not. Get used to looking at this little raindrop indicator or you're gonna get tilted immediately. Just like real life, you can pour a little water on yourself preemptively to avoid being set on fire, so keep that bottle of Dasani handy. I mean, it's not like you want to drink it. I think the progression in this game is pretty interesting compared to other RNG games as well. The normal way to go is to descend deeper and deeper into each area. When you hit the bottom, you can travel to the Holy Mountain Shrine, which restores your health and lets you go on to the next stage. This is also the only place by default where you can create new wands. The thing is, you can get to this portal pretty quickly and easily, but it's up to you when you decide to move on. You aren't limited by time in Noita, but rather your mortal life. Do you go on to the next stage, or do you risk it all looking for more wands, potions, and money? The player very much sets the pace in Noita, and you can even leave this designated order of areas to explore the overworld, or any of the absurd amount of content that's hidden from you. Each layer of the map has a secondary powered up region on the far left or right that you can access as well. These places have much scarier enemies, but usually better loot to find. This adds another level of strategy to Noita. You can risk it all in one of the harder areas, or you can stay in the normal zone. There's a lot of decision making in Noita about how to progress, and your bravery is typically rewarded. Just watch out though, because the bullshit in these places is cranked up to 11. This isn't even considering that playing the typical way is only one avenue you can go down. You may not even realize that Noita has an entire overworld, with unique biomes and dungeons and enemies and items that you can easily miss. Or without mentioning the giant, infinitely expanding elephant in the room that hardcore Noita fans know what I'm talking about. There really is no limit in any direction you go. The so-called world barrier is nothing more than a suggestion. You know what? I'm not going to elaborate on that last sentence. Sorry, bozo, play the game. The enemies are such rat bastards in this game too, you have no idea. You know how most games, they kind of like build up the threats as you go, like at the start you have really easy guys, and then things get progressively harder the longer it goes on? Even the weakest enemies in Noita cross you up and slam into you for crazy damage. They hunt your ass down too. You think levitation and being able to fly gives you an advantage, but every enemy has a crazy vertical in this game. Like, damn, these guys should be playing on the Lakers, bro. What are they doing here? You basically have to play cautiously and proactively because you can easily be swarmed at a moment's notice. Enemies will set you on fire, they'll explode in your face. The jungle area even has these anxiety-inducing spider guys that will try to blend into the environment. I think the enemy AI is pretty well balanced, all things considered. Most of the enemies are easy to outsmart individually, and most of them have specific weaknesses you can exploit, but when different enemy types start coming together, oof, yeah, you're cooked, bro. You're broiled. Don't forget about the shotgun guys either. Oh my god. Yeah, of course, the perfect enemies for this silly wizard game is some dumbass who slide cancels around and shoots you in the face. It kinda makes no sense, but I promise you the gun enemies only get worse and worse as you go on. The enemies in this game kinda remind me of that retired guy who wakes up really early to drive around his vintage car on your way to work. You know what I'm talking about. His wife and kids left him years ago, so he drives around in his Pontiac Firebird just to feel something. He goes 10 under on the speed limit at all times, even on the highway. The Honda Civic behind you can't see him because his car is too low to the ground, so the Honda Civic tailgates you the whole time like you're the issue. Just when you think it's over, the Ford F-150 comes out of nowhere. You see it barreling towards you in your rearview mirror. You know how this goes. The Ford F-150 gets uncomfortably very close to you. He's almost touching your bumper before he passive-aggressively passes into the next lane and then in front of you. And then it's just you, this old guy in the Honda Civic, in front of literally the largest car you've ever seen. Not a single goddamn person on earth needs a car this large, but he has it. He'll keep driving it. You know, he has a Blue Lives Matter sticker on his back windshield. His wife also left him a few years ago. What is this video about? A lot of the depth of Noita comes from understanding how the physics and dynamic chemistry system interact with the environment. Every pixel is simulated sounds like a marketing gimmick, but Noita does its best to actually simulate what this would be like. Fire will spread to wood and oil. Water doused on lava will create steam. Acid trails can be ignited. The different substances and methods of getting around them is where a lot of the fun comes in. You're forced to improvise and think on your feet. It's very cool to see the physics interact and meld into each other. I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of emergent gameplay in Noita. The elaborate chemistry system does allow you to get around in really creative ways and find fun ways to overcome obstacles, but again, if you aren't careful, you can easily kill yourself. There are perks you can get and special items that make yourself immune to certain damage types, but you still have to be on the lookout. Nothing is ever really that easy in Noita. You have to stay vigilant. Your main way of interacting with the world is through the modular wand crafting. There is a sharp learning curve to the crafting system. The skill ceiling for building wands is basically infinite, and it always feels like there's something new to try in every run. The amount of spells in this game is straight up ridiculous. Basically anything you can imagine is craftable if you find the right stuff. Set your clocks to real wizard hours because it's about to get crazy. It does hurt to spend a lot of time making some sick wand that you swear will make you invincible and awesome, just to die 10 seconds later, but you'll get over it. Lord knows I have. It's kind of like editing a cool Resident Evil 4 video for 6 to 7 hours that you accidentally upload at the wrong resolution, so you struggle to take it down and fix it within 30 seconds, but the damage is already done so that when you upload it again, the algorithm curses you and nobody watches it. Whatever, I'm not even petty about it, guys, I promise. Beyond spells alone, the wand frame that you pick up matters as well. Since you can only hold 4 wands at a time, you'll have to make some pretty hard decisions about what you keep and what you throw away. Sometimes you will have to give up a genuinely useful tool just to hold on to something that you can mold into a god wand later. It's hard to overstate how much of a learning curve the spellcrafting really is. Beyond active damage spells are modifiers that can help tweak out your wand stats, things like reducing cast time and reducing spread. These can be hard to incorporate as well though, because wands have a limited amount of space, and a lot of these modifiers usually come with a drawback that you'll have to balance around. For example, damage plus will add a cast delay to your wand, making it slower. Learning to read between the lines and balancing the perfect wand is very hard, but it's extremely gratifying when you can get it down. Making something sick is always rewarding. It's hard to showcase over video alone, but the wand crafting is where a lot of the mastery comes in, and it's what separates Noita from other games, I think. You can technically place any spell on any wand, but the order of which you list them on the wand is what makes the difference. One small adjustment in the order of how you place spells, and suddenly that semi-auto laser wand becomes a Glock switch. Take this into account with other modifiers to make sure you don't burn out on mana too quick. You do really have to consider the placement of each spell and how they will affect each other. Insane power often comes with trade-offs. I think that's what they said to Spider-Man. Once you realize the insane depth of the system, anything in the game opens up. Put a few chainsaws or luminous drills in the right spot, and you can use their near instant cast time to speed up literally every other projectile on your wand. It can get as technical as you want it to. The wands are cool, but you shouldn't sleep on the perks either. You get one for free with each holy mountain shrine. These are usually more than just passive abilities, they usually give you powers that almost feel like cheating. Call down a giant laser that can cut through the entire map. This gives you an easy way to get back up to the overworld. Gain the ability to edit your wands anywhere and store spells wherever you want. Give your kick move telekinetic properties. There's a lot of perks in this game, and to be fair, not all of them are this crazy, but they do add another layer of choice, and they lead to interesting player builds you wouldn't have otherwise. Here's a pro gamer strat for all you Sigma gamers out there. Get the perk that makes worms fear you, and then find a wand with the worm launcher spell. When it comes out, it will move straight to get as far from you as possible. Since worms are big and greedy, you can use this to dig straight down into basically whatever surface you want. Right now in this footage, I'm using this basically to skip the entire last area of the game before the final boss. Keep in mind, this was just one random combination, and that we're really only scratching the surface of what's possible. Especially early on, it can feel that a lot of your success in Noita comes down to luck, not just with what spells and items you find, but how the caves generate and what enemies are thrown at you. One wrong step and you'll sink in seconds. Just like real life, you're never too far from the cold embrace of death. You can spend an insane amount of time in a run, tweaking your wands, carefully navigating each corridor, dodging attacks perfectly, just to be undone by the cruel hand of RNG. All that time lost, all that power rendered useless. Returning to what I said earlier, I think the real point of Noita is learning to let go. It's understanding that there's only so much you can do in the face of a hostile world, no matter how much you prepare. Sometimes you succeed and ascend to godhood, but most runs end abruptly and violently. You have to learn to accept loss in Noita, to understand that victory is often short-lived, and that all beings on this earth share the same fate. You will die to bullshit, and you will get really mad, but you'll always come back ready to try again. You're never more than a couple spells away from reaching a god run, and there's an endless amount of content in this game if you have the curiosity and the means to find it. Noita can feel like a Ford F-150, barreling towards the back of your car sometimes, but there really isn't anything else out there like it. Remember that the sacrifice of oneself in the pursuit of knowledge is the highest tribute to the gods, and the sacrifice of your time in watching this video is the highest tribute to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for watching. 'Cause I'm Bill Gates, all my bills paid.